Mic check 1 2 1 2. You with the podcast kings? What is you gonna do, man? Listen, you are now tuned in to What's Good America, the podcast for dudes who said they could have went to NFL, but their high school coach didn't like them, or like the high school coach had a son on the team. That's why I didn't get to play. And oh man, I would have went 5 stars, but bro, like it was a whole political thing at the school. This is who this podcast is for. For all the dudes who got the excuse why they ain't make it to the NFL. This is who this show is for tonight. All right. I am C. Turner. Clearly, I didn't have that excuse. 5 stars. Anyway, I am C. Turner, the mahogany one himself. Hey, I was gonna sit here in front. Hey, I ain't had that problem. C. Turner, the mahogany one himself, the chocolate wonder. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to the entire state of Florida. It's about to get real ignorant, and Florida, it is your fault. But the more humble, the more, I'm gonna say, mature of the two of us, the subdued most of the time, the Chicago kid, the West Coast savant himself, Mr. 401k, Big Six, James, Big Game, Madison, Walton the third. What's going on, baby?
Well, America, I mean, basically his whole introduction was about me. Let's just call spade a spade. Because I think I was like a 1.5 star. You know what I'm saying? You know, so as I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to get into this room, I'm going to keep talking and unmute myself because there it is, America. So as I said on the video, and I forgot to unmute myself, but we caught it with only 15 seconds to spare. America, like I said, he was talking about your boy. Because clearly they had a star system. We're not that far apart in age. In fact, I think we're a graduating class apart.
Yeah,
so the star system was there. I did not register. However, let's just call this what it is. It's week 3, which means, Chris, this is really kind of our favorite time in football season.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the NFL tonight. There's some truths and some lies. And you can really start to see what the truths are. And you can really start to see what the lie is with some things. And then you still have that whole, is this really happening? I don't know what's going on. Like, you know, by week 3, week 4, you kind of like, okay. And that's where we're at right now, man. So let's just go ahead and get this out the way. If you would have told me the combined record of the Bears and the Dolphins would have been 5-1, I'd have been like, man, get up out of here. I mean, at worst, we would be 4-2.
It's real out here right now. It's real.
But, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to pat both of us on the back. And I want to start with your team because by virtue of them being in first place in the AFC, all alone by themselves.
Yep, that's happened. That's happened.
This is part of that Michael Jordan free throw percentage that we've talked about on the show. And I have been very bullish on the Miami Dolphins for 3 years.
You have.
Because they have been a good football team for 3 years. And it's not so much, you know, and Chris, I purposely, like when I know we're going to talk Monday or Tuesday, I don't listen to any talking heads. So anybody that happens to realize we're on Spotify Live besides our wives, from moving forward, this is going to be our new platform. I kind of love it. I don't even have to look down at time or anything. My phone's off. I can hear Chris. I can just concentrate on our video screen. You know what I'm saying? And look at that beautiful man from Duval. You know what I'm saying, up there doing his thing. So from moving forward, we're going to make sure that this is interactive because we're going to have this talk weekly. And I purposely don't listen to pundits when we're going to talk football because I want it to come from what I said and I want it to be authentic. I told you before everybody, the Tyreek Hill thing, but it had really nothing to do with so much Tyreek. I'll get into that maybe give me a minute. But it was about Tua. And I have repeatedly said on this show, when he was great at Alabama, he has shown that if you give me the weapons, and the artillery, I can make it rain all over this joint because that was his entire college career.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
When he was turning around, he was handed to a guy that scored 15 rushing touchdowns last year. And the backup is the entire offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
Right.
And then outside, he was throwing to, and you can help me if I forget anybody. Let's see. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle,
Jerry Jeudy,
Ridley, Calvin Ridley. He had Mechie, who's in the league right now.
Yes, sir.
Jameson Williams, I think, might have been there or maybe hadn't transferred yet. I'm not sure. And I could be. So these are the guys he was throwing to. Go look at his team. He's got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, who quietly could be the most underrated tight end in the league. He's the closest thing, listen, and I'm going to say this in the right way. He's the closest thing you have to Rob Gronkowski in body type and how he gets over. He does Gronk things. He's nowhere near the player Gronk is. Gronk is in a category of himself.
All by itself.
Gronk is the GOAT. When Shannon Sharp says that you're the GOAT, you're the GOAT. And that's no disrespect to Tony Gonzalez. I've gotten into these discussions. But Rob Gronkowski, as a complete football player, he did everything. So I'm not surprised that Miami, actually, we were at the Niners game, and I'm sitting here just looking at this. I'm like, oh, man, Lamar Jackson, good for him, by the way. We need to get DeJuan on to talk about his Ravens team. That Lamar Jackson's the subject on. We need 30 minutes just to talk about his situation.
I agree.
But they're down 21 or whatever they were, Chris. I'll let you. What was the number? What were they down before they made the comeback?
Oh, we were down the whole. We got JUCO. I mean, if it was in the video game, we would have had to hand the sticks over. That's where we were at with it. The sticks would have had to been tossed.
It was at least 21.
Yeah.
And this guy just goes bananas in the third and the fourth quarter and brings them all the way back, throws for 6 touchdowns. I'm not surprised. He did it in college when he had the weaponry and the coach says, you do it. So he's got 2 things working, the weaponry and a coach that literally looked him in his eyes. This McDaniel kid, who you have to know, it's a Shanahan coach, which basically means he's a Bill Walsh coach.
Yep.
They're all from the Bill Walsh tree. Andy, Sean McVay, basically anybody that's winning games is somehow connected to Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
This kid, when he said, I talked to Tua and I told him, I believe you're my guy. I think
that's all he needed.
That's all Tua needs. Like, he's such a humble kid that when Nick Saban looked at him and said, save me. Save me now.
I got you.
So that's how I feel about Miami. And the defense is still underrated.
I agree.
And it showed, because don't get me wrong, Buffalo's defense to hold them to 21 points is impressive in itself without their starting safeties. But to shut that offense down, it's pretty impressive. So I'm extremely bullish on Miami and, of course, Buffalo. I think they're the best teams. It looks like the old school 80s and 90s when those guys were meeting in the playoffs every year.
Yep.
Dude, this is your time. I feel free to just go crazy right now.
I won't even go crazy yet. Like I said, they're my guys and I'm up on them, but I don't want to jinx it. So I'm a humble brag a little bit, and I'm gonna give you your credit as well because you're the main one who said to be a successful team, college or NFL, you have to have 2 receivers that can go. And we got 3 because you got to include Gesicki as much as anybody else in this. I love our running backs. I love our defense. It's underrated as they are.
Great 1-2 punch with Moser and Edmonds, dude. Like it's like everything about Miami is just like it's caught on now, but it's like if you didn't see it in the offseason, they cut Sony Michel.
Yep. And everybody was wondering, well, why would they cut Sony Michel for this guy and that guy who are unproven? Sony Michel is good, but at the same time, he doesn't fit into what we do.
And those two guys are proven. Mostert's played in the Super Bowl, and Chase Edmonds has been legit down in Arizona.
Quietly consistent.
Yeah,
quietly consistent.
Keep going.
So
man.
I'm up with my guys, man. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. Yes, if I was to go back a couple years in that draft, I would still choose Justin Herbert as my Miami Dolphins quarterback.
Would, man. Like that's,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ride with Tua. I wasn't as low on Tua as everybody else was. And even right now, like I'm high on him, but I'm still not as high on him as I watch the pundits because I have a little bit of time sometimes. I'm not as high on him as now. Everybody's on his boat.
I bet because I haven't listened yet. I bet everybody's right because they've been.
Oh yeah, everybody's riding the wave now. But yeah, you were shitting on him for a good 2-3 years now. So, but everybody's riding the wave now. At the end of the day, you still have the Dark Father in this division. It is what it is. Like the Dark Father always has a punching chance if he's alive and breathing. I know Mac Jones is out. But at the end of the day, that evil bastard is still sitting there breathing and sucking the life out of the NFL in Boston. So at the end of the day, I am still, until this season is over with and this old Dark Father, this Sith Lord is out of the playoffs, he's one you got to watch. The Jets have a lot of good pieces. They got a lot of good pieces, but they're just pieces. They're far from a team, but they got a lot of good pieces. Buffalo, yeah, they're in second right now, but at the end of the day, even with us being undefeated, it's still, everybody still kind of looks at, all right, it's still Buffalo's division. And that's understandably so. So I'm up on my guys. Like I'm glad with 3-0. Like I can see us doing some good things. Yeah, we might be able to stretch this thing like 7-0, but like as long as we get to the playoffs, that's where I'm looking for it to go.
Well, I mean, the beauty of it is, we're gonna know on Thursday real quick.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We're gonna know real quick. Because if they go let's say they go 3-1 and play Joe Burrow and them guys tough and lose by a field goal, you're like, oh, we good.
Yeah.
If they win that game anyway, and I've seen it happen before in the AFC.
Yeah.
I've even seen it happen in the AFC. They could be the 1-2 seeds in the same conference because they could go beat everybody else and they split. And it's just a matter of where you have to go. I seen it when the Patriots and the Jets were both winning. Remember when the Patriots did go to the Jets back with
when Rex Ryan
was there? I've seen it happen there. I've seen it happen in the AFC North a couple times. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
It's happened a couple times in the
home field.
Yeah.
Baltimore and New England, it's happened. Like if Baltimore had to go to New England would get them. If they had to go to Baltimore, Baltimore would basically go win those Super Bowls. So, yeah, I mean, through it all, to me, it's very, very pleasant.
And I mean, I think you had a good one. Let's go right into the AFC North, where the Browns are sitting in first in the AFC North.
Look, I think I referenced this with a couple of my friends, and they laughed. And I'm gonna say this live, and this is not any disrespect, but I have the shirt on. But there's a couple of quarterbacks in the league where you just look at them and they remind you of guys. Jacoby Brissett to me is the black Kyle Orton. That's the same laugh I got from two of my boys. And what I mean by this is very simple. Kyle Orton was a very good NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Kyle Orton was the guy that if you won the game, it wasn't necessarily going to be because Kyle Orton won you the game. If you lost the game, it wasn't going to be because Kyle Orton played horribly bad. He was just one of those guys that he got it done. For the Bears, he got it done for us. We loved him in Chicago. One of my favorite all-time guys that I've ever met in my life. Me and Kyle Orton were actually at Nike camp together. I'm going to tell the story. It's a funny story. You'll appreciate it. So the original Nike camps, that's how old I am. I'm the original. Yeah. Where they just gave you the cutoff T-shirt that had Nike cap and a little football on it. So I was at U of I. I got invited down when I was trying to get my star rating up. Because it was at a 1, I think, at that point. I might have got it to a 2 after I bench pressed 185 once. And ran a 4.840 on the laser next to Larry Fitzgerald. That's a story in itself. Anyway,
that doesn't help.
So, you had a couple. Obviously, Larry was there, and he wasn't like, you could see he was becoming Larry, because Larry was
right.
Larry was
right.
Larry's built the way I'm built now at 16. It wasn't fair. By the way, ran faster for it in Larry in college. Love you, Larry. Kyle Orton was like, no. Like, we all knew Kyle Orton was in Illinois because he's an Iowa kid.
Right.
And he had already committed to Purdue. He was the next up because Drew was there and Kyle was taking over. And this guy is just throwing piss rockets at everybody. Like, he didn't care. Up to that point, it's the hardest ball ever. And I was like, dude, like, some of us are out here trying to get our name up a little bit. Like, you got a scholarship. Why are you throwing the ball so hard at me, bro? Like, I'm open. You got me over here diving. Anyway, so fast forwarded, CT, 2005. It was right after the Bears had, I think they had clinched. They went up and beat Green Bay. And I was home around Christmas. I went out with Depot and Sean Phillips, and we went out to one of the bars where the Bears used to hang out. And it was Urlacher, Jerry Azuma, Lance Briggs, and Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton, to this day, is the greatest drinker I've ever seen. I watched this guy take up one of them big Costco, them Costco Jack Daniels handles.
Yeah.
In the bar and just start chugging. He had just lost his job to Rex, and he's just chugging, right? And I walk up on the bar and I go, hey, Kyle Orton, I know you don't remember me because you shouldn't because you're rich. But, dude, man, I remember me and you at Nike Camp way back in 2000. And I just wanted to say what's up to you, man. I'm still a fan. So I kid you not. I got to wait for you to come back in the screen before I tell you.
Well, I still hear you. I just had to grab my cord because I'm already dying.
Yeah. Go ahead and get that. So Kyle Orton, somebody, as I just said that to him, shook his hand, just dapped him up, and just threw the Nike Camp thing in there because, it's true. And as I'm walking down the stairs, we're walking down the stairs to leave, Urlacher and them were getting ready to go. And we had a good night. It was fun. Lance Briggs, I had pictures with, Lance Briggs was hilarious. Lance Briggs might be my 3rd or 4th favorite Bear of all time.
That's saying something.
Yeah, just because his personality matched how he played. He was a dog on the field, and he was a dog in real life. Lance Briggs did not care. He had a ball. So as I'm walking down the stairs of this bar, somebody goes, hey, yo, taps on the shoulder. Hey, Kyle Orton wants to say something to you. I'm like, okay. So I turn around, and Kyle Orton looks at me and he goes, I was like, So shout out to Kyle Orton, man. He honestly is one of my favorite guys. Made me look bad when I was trying to get a D1 scholarship, but paid it forward, 10 years later with a thumbs up. I thought that was pretty cool. So just a Jack Daniels thumbs up. I was like, my guy. So that's how I feel about Jacoby Brissett. And everybody knows this about that team. All he has to do is keep them as close to 500 as possible. Desean Watson is getting into game shape right now.
Yeah.
If you don't think he's not throwing to Antonio, Dez, T.O., that circuit, Chad, that circuit of guys are not, they probably got that stuff. They're like no cameras type stuff.
Yeah.
In a warehouse somewhere. If you don't think he's going to come out like that, you can tell the preseason games he played, he hadn't really touched the football.
No.
Until he knew he was going to
play again. Yeah.
I'm not doing anything until somebody pays me. So, yeah, the AFC North is a mess. And you can legitimately, as I was very bullish on the AFC West, and I'm going to have to back off that in these 3 games because some realities have come in. The AFC North could realistically have 4 playoff teams. You have to believe Cincinnati's either going to they could lose this game on Thursday. They can figure it out. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. I don't know how they continue to find a way to still be I think Mike Tomlin really tells his guys, don't be the team that breaks my streak of under 500.
Year in and year out, they're consistent. They're going to be there. Not at the top, not at the bottom. Like they're the team that man, we gotta play these ones. We gotta play them again.
Yeah. So I would never count them out, especially knowing that TJ's gonna be back at some point. And then Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. Like I said, he's gonna be a show. Like we're gonna have to spend some. I'm gonna have to try to get DeJuan on, and we need to talk about what he's doing right now. Because if the season ended today, Lamar Jackson would be the MVP, and it wouldn't even be close.
Nope.
It'd be like Jalen Hurts would be a close second. You know what I mean? But so, man, I mean, look, and then you get to the AFC West, and I don't know what to make of this division. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, America. I was very bullish on the Raiders. The Raiders are making me look terrible right now. Half my fantasy
Broncos country, let's ride.
And they're 2-1 right now.
Broncos country.
2-1, bro.
Oh God!
Like they're 2-1. They are tied for first in the division with Kansas City, who lost to the Colts.
I will say this. In that game, as of so far, that was the main game where I saw they really missed Tyreek Hill. Because when you play, and just to get, and we don't typically do this that much, but to get real analytical about things, when you're playing against a cover 3, you need a receiver that can blow the top off. And that's the Achilles heel of a cover 3 defense. Like you can have a bunch of route runners and slot guys and everything else. In a cover 3, you need a dude that is going to blow the top off of that shell of the defense. Because if you don't, them cats can just sit back there and rally to everything.
Yeah, and listen, this is the truth of the matter. And as soon as we saw him go to Miami, I told you, I said Tua is going to be better. I have a friendly bet with one of my best friends who's one of the biggest Chiefs fans, and I bet him that Tua would throw more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes. Do you realize they're tied for touchdowns right now?
So far, so good.
All I'm saying, the fact that they're even tied.
That's saying something.
I was drunk when I made that bet, but I was serious about it. Anyway, the point is, Chris, you're hitting it on the head. And when you are the quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is, and his game is based off the ability of, I need to be able to put the fear of God in you because I can throw the ball 70 yards on a fly.
At any time.
But now he doesn't have that guy that can just go get that ball. Nicole Hardman can go. Valdez-Scantling, these guys are fast. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are a different speed level than every other wide receiver in the league. Jalen Waddle's a step slower than Tyreek.
Yeah.
They're the 2 fastest receivers in the NFL. Period.
No argument.
There is no argument. Jalen Waddle's like a 4.19 or something like that. Or a 4.2 something, and Tyreek's 4. We know Tyreek's 4.1. That's a known Tyreek's 4.1. And Jalen Waddle, I thought, was sub 4.2. I thought he ran
he's a 4.23.
Yeah, because I thought he ran a handheld like 4.17 at like the pro day. Somebody had him on the clock in the 4.1s, and that's when I was like, maybe, like I said, Michael Jordan free throw percentage. Because you were more excited about Jalen Waddle going to Miami when I thought Smitty should have went. And you were like, nope, I got the guy I wanted. And I was like, yeah, he's good. Like, so that's what we do, man. We out here just making fadeaway jumpers on Gerald Wilkins in '93. You know, we out here doing Jordan things. So,
and to speak of un-Jordan-like things, you got to go at the bottom and probably the most disappointing team in the league as of 3 weeks into the league, and that is the Las Vegas. I do apologize, Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know.
I'm miffed by it.
I don't know. Like I don't know if you want to blame Josh McDaniels. Me personally, I don't do their quarterback. I don't. I get it. He's supposed to be good. He's supposed to be great. He's got his receiver from college. I was never that high on the quarterback. And God, he can run off the next 14 games and throw for ungodly numbers, and I will call it a fluke. I do not like Oakland's quarterback. I'm just not that high on him. Like I get it. He puts up good numbers. I get it. I don't see it though. Like I don't see the it that everybody else sees when they look at him.
Well, I'm going to defend him, which is good for our show right now.
Right.
What I see is a guy that's just trying to figure it out. The week one version of him, minus the two, like he had two really bad throws in that game when they played the Chargers. They were really bad. And I was like, bruh. Like my whole fantasy life is depending on you, right?
Right.
But I still like him because I like the him and Devontae thing. And it's shown because Devontae has scored every game. But there does come a point, and this is where I hate to always have to do this, but I have to go from experience. This is the thing that made Chris Dixon. He knew I've got A, B, and C. And I know how to get A, B, and C, exactly what they need. So he's got to find a way to keep they paid Darren Waller, and that's all well and good. But Darren Waller's like, but I still want to be Darren Waller, 95 receptions, 1,200 yards, 9-10 touchdowns. I want to be known as like I've seen his pivot. He's a very competitive dude with a very compelling story. You know, he has some mental stuff that he's going through every day. And you've got to find a way to still, and I think that's what Derek has to do. There's been so much about Devontae and him to where I think with some of these guys and Hunter Renfro's confidence, I think is a little shaken by Devontae because Devontae is so good.
He casts the big shadow. He does.
He's so good. And I think Derek, this is where his leadership, it's got to take the next step. And I agree with you. And this is where I think it's not even so much about the numbers, Chris, but they're 0-3 now. If they run this off and they go 10-3 in the next 13 games, it's going to be because his leadership and his playmaking ability at that position just got better and better. And the other thing I think is Josh McDaniels, for so many years now as a coordinator, has not had guys like a Darren Waller and a Devontae Adams at those positions.
That's true.
He had Gronk on the backside. Like Gronk's body was falling apart.
Right.
When Gronk was at his apex, he was coaching in Denver. You know what I mean? So you've got this guy that's still like in his prime. Devontae, like these guys, you know, Darren Waller's 29, 30. Devontae Adams is 28 years old. So he's used to calling plays with, we got to make the chains move with what we got. And, you know, instead of trying to make Derek Carr overthink, let's just do things to where let's use Devontae Adams as the piece that's going to get everybody else single coverage. If I put Devontae Adams here, what does that do for Darren Waller?
Who does this help? Yeah, who does this help?
Do I put Hunter Renfrow on the same size as Devontae? Do I line them both up in the slot, put a receiver outside, flex Darren Waller out? You know? And then by doing that, that's when you can get Josh Jacobs his 1,300 yards he needs so he can go get his money somewhere else and you can work with all these. Like to me, I think sometimes, and I get these guys are really good at what they do, but I think the game is very simple.
I agree.
And I think when you try to make it more difficult because you're trying to be this guru, like, dude, I don't need all this terminology. All I need to do is know if I put you in a situation, who's going to get the one-on-one when I want the one-on-one on first, second, third, and fourth down? Where you need to be complicated in football, in my opinion, is in the run game. I don't think you need to be complicated in the pass game. You need to be able to have five guys that can either quick set on the inside or they can kick step and give my guy 2.5 seconds. And it's up to my guy to go 1, 2, 3 and get through his progression. So I think Oakland, I think we got to wait and see because we can look in 3 weeks and they could easily beat 500. So I'm not going to give up on them yet.
Well,
if you give up on them, it's fair.
I'm just not that high on him because I'm not a fan of Carr. Like I'm just not a fan of Carr. But speaking of hard drugs and crab trays, the Jacksonville Jaguars are on top of the AFC South. And I can make that joke because I'm from Jacksonville. So I can say the town is full of hard drugs and garlic crab trays. I'm going to catch some flack from that. I don't really care. It's true. Sunshine and the Spotted Cats are number one in their respective division. And it hurts me to the core of my soul to say this, but I don't think anybody can take this division from them. If they do what they did in Los Angeles against the Chargers, week in and week out, I don't see a team in this division that can go point for point with them, because just to go through them all, the Titans. If the Titans are up, the Titans are good. If the Titans are down, then I mean, hell, I'll bet on my own arm against Ryan Tannehill. They got King Henry, but
wait, who would you rather have, Ryan Tannehill or Derek Carr? And you got to choose one.
I gotta choose one
because I know you throw both of them in the trash.
Oh, quickly, and set the trash on fire too. I guess Carr. I guess. But if you got the Titans, then the Titans are good. Like once they get a chance to get King Henry rolling. But if you get up by 2 scores, then that run game kind of goes out the window. The Colts are an enigma because the Colts have a great O-line, a great running back. Nobody really knows who Matt Ryan is anymore. Like, their defense is good, but like you don't know. Yes, Matt Ryan is older, but I don't know who this Matt Ryan is. They have a quarterback for them, and then the Texans are essentially an NAIA school.
Yeah, they're the Texans.
They're an NAIA school. That's all they are.
They're the team that pissed off all their favorite players.
All of them?
All of them.
All of them.
Andre Johnson.
Every last one of them.
Mr. Texan won't even associate with them anymore. He's the greatest Texan to ever play for him.
Ever.
They traded a guy that didn't even want to be traded. They pissed off their quarterback after they gave him, well, you traded my guy. Okay, you paid me, but I'm still pissed because I asked you to let me be a part of something. And you're like, nah, bitch, I'm cool. We're going to do what we're going to do. Go pick some cotton, black guy. Yeah, there you go. Then you piss off the other Mr. Texan. JJ's like, what? Like, I still got a couple years. Like, give me.
Mind you, JJ is probably the sweetest guy in the NFL. He looks like he's the guy you created to play defensive line on Madden. Like that's who he is.
100%.
But how do you piss? Like this dude is legitimately like a Samaritan. Like he's a good Samaritan, and you piss like, all right, well, cool. I'll go to Arizona.
And one of the great athletic actors of his time.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
He's got some good movie credits. Good movie credits, you know.
So shout out to the Jaguars, man. I don't believe I'm saying this, but this is the Jaguars division to lose.
At this point, it is, and they will lose it to the Colts. So,
bang bang.
No, the Jaguars are going to be competitive. Like this is who they are. They are 1 to 2 players away, and they're going to get there because I listen. You get him one more weapon on offense or another offensive lineman, whatever it may be.
He needs a tight end. Like he needs a for sure stud tight end.
Well, let's see how Evan Ingram continues to work. They got him for cheap. They have Evan Ingram's a 9th overall pick for a reason.
I think he's a good leverage tight end. Like he's a guy who can get you by. That's what I think Ingram is. I think he's a guy who can get you by.
He's getting them by, all right. They're beating the brakes off of Justin Herbert.
True. Very true. Very true.
And shut out the Colts. So he's getting them by. And I think one more, just like that's a first-round stud on defense. Wherever your biggest hole is, and if you can get it right, the way a certain team has gotten it right, as we split to the other conference here. So yeah, I think it's been fun, and I love in a week to see how much things change. Because I think there's some things that are not going to change. I think with the AFC, we can wrap it up, get to the NFC. Miami is still going to be there. If they win or lose to Cincinnati, when you lose to a good team, as long as you're competitive, you've lost nothing, in my opinion.
So check this out. I know we're about to do the NFC, and here's the thing. I want to keep it within an hour because attention spans and all that good stuff. And the best part about doing the NFC, one of the divisions we really don't even have to do. Like we really probably don't have to do the NFC South. We're gonna do it, but it's the NFC South. Like,
yeah, can we
you
just
can almost predict what's going to happen in the NFC South.
I mean, it's true, and it's literally on pace for that. They almost beat the Packers with no receivers.
Because here's what Tom is gonna have. Tom is gonna have about a month and a half straight where he's gonna get super hot for no apparent reason. The Panthers, CMC, if isn't he already hurt?
I mean, they were hurt when they had to choose between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
So yeah, the Panthers are the Panthers.
I feel bad for CMC. CMC's probably like, dude, trade me to New York. I'd take Daniel Jones right now.
Right now.
Let's take one down here. Okay. Yep.
The Saints.
Yeah, we got to talk about.
Yeah, there we go. So let's go to the NFC North. And I will say this one thing. The Bears are tied for first place in the NFC North. Mr. Walton.
All right. Let's go ahead and get this out the way because it's not my game. This goes out to everybody that continues to try to tell me something that I knew on draft day in 2020. What did I say about the quarterback for the Chicago Bears? I think he's a great kid. I love his family.
You said that.
I like his, I did like how he was handling things.
Yeah.
But what did I tell you that I used to see? And I see it in his eyes. He doesn't have it. He doesn't. And I'm going to put it to you this way. Do it for yourself. It's a good thing, Wayne. You know what? When we do the Justin Fields show, I'm going to make sure everybody in Chicagoland needs to listen to me and listen to me good for 45 minutes. I'm going to go home. I've been called Uncle Tom by my best friend.
He did.
My father disagrees with me right now. He sent me a text. Well, he didn't play well, but it's all good. One of my other best friends from college basically said he sucks. I was like, oh, so you jump off the bandwagon that fast? I tried to explain to you not to get your hopes up on this guy. Like, wait and see. Like me, I'm the guy that wants to be proven wrong by. I don't want to be right about the things that I know. I don't like being the tactician guy when my wife asks me a question, when she sees something in the game and goes, hey, babe, tell me about this a little bit in 30 words or less. Don't be wordy like you are. I love doing that. I don't like being right about the quarterback of my favorite team. I have a tattoo of this city on my body. I'm sorry, Black America. I'm sorry that your Black savior is in Cleveland with rape charges. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You can tell that the vodka's kicking in. Look, I would rather have Jacoby Brissett over Justin Fields. Can we go? I would rather have Teddy Bridgewater over Justin Fields.
Teddy Two Gloves?
I would rather have Jameis Winston. I would rather have Tyrod Taylor.
You disrespectful son of a bitch. You are disrespectful
I take Josh Johnson over Justin.
You're disrespectful.
What do you want me to do? Give me some guys where I know they're going to be competitive and give us a chance throwing the football.
All right, let me ask you this.
I take Cardell Jones. All right, I went too far.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. So
I take Russell Wilson and his horrible ass right now.
Let's ride. All right. So if you had a chance to pick up Fitzmagic, he was like, yo, I got 2 more years left in me. I just need a 2-year contract from somebody. Would you take Fitzmagic and you say, you know what? I'll figure out our future later?
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
You don't even go think about it.
No. The only quarterbacks I'd have to really legitimately think about are the starting quarterbacks for Carolina.
They trash.
I'd take Geno Smith right now over Justin Fields.
Geno?
I would take Drew Lock's to horrible ass over. At least I know he can throw the ball down the field.
True.
Somewhat accurate at times. That's it. The only quarterbacks I would not take him over because it'd be the same thing is the Carolina quarterback. Because as much as Baker Mayfield, I gave that dude 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I look at what's happening in Carolina, and I'm like, dude, you got some weaponry, man. It's like
guys that can go.
Yeah. Dude, you know who I would take right now? You know who I'd trade him for?
Who?
I'd trade him for Tyler Huntley. Right. Give me Lamar's backup right now.
And in small spurts, Huntley has showed that, hey, listen.
Well, he beat the Bears last year. He beat Justin Fields head-to-head last year. They played.
Listen, I feel like we're gonna turn this 3 or 4 minutes just straight in the Bears. When are y'all gonna pay Roquan Smith, man? Roquan.
Probably at the end of the season when we realize that this is still the Bears, so we play defense and run the football. This guy's not
the dude had almost 20 tackles last game.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what Lamar's doing. Like I'll say it a little bit louder because you didn't hear me. When we realize that we are still the Bears, we have not found our answer at quarterback. We still run the football and we still play defense, which has been the moat. This team has been the same team since Gale Sayers. We haven't had a quarterback since Sid Luckman, man.
Not even the funky QB.
I love Jim McMahon.
I'm sorry.
I love Jim McMahon. But you do realize the greatest quarterback in Bears history is Jay Cutler.
Rex Grossman? Oh. Yeah, it's Smoking Jay. Hate Jay Cutler.
He owns every statistical category record in the history of the Bears. So I'll leave that there. And all true Bears fans understand that. And we don't say that with pride or joy or with sad or malice. We just go, God, what we wouldn't give to have an Aaron Rodgers and a Brett Favre for a combined 35 years. That'd be nice. I guarantee you, we had them guys, we'd have been to more than, oh, wait a minute, we've been to as many Super Bowls. Anyway.
It just got petty. All right, so just to kill that conference real quick, three-way tie.
Let's go west.
All right.
So bottom line is Minnesota. I'm going to sum up the North because it's my division.
Because it's yours. Yeah, it's yours.
It's Minnesota's to lose. Kirk Cousins is going to have his ups and downs, but I think Minnesota's still going to run away with that division. I don't think either one of us are coming off that. Green Bay, they ain't got it. Like the Bears could have won that. Like we're in that game.
Yeah.
So if the Bears are in that game with that quarterback, Green Bay ain't got it. And the fact they couldn't beat Tom Brady and he was missing his entire starting wide receiving core and they won by 2, Green Bay ain't got it. So Minnesota's going to win that thing because they've got the weaponry to get the defense. Let's go west because I want to finish with the East before we get to the minutes.
All right, coming out west then. Right in your backyard again.
Listen, man, I'm gonna speak from it. This thing's a crapshoot out here. It doesn't really make any sense. But I am going to continue to lean to the pick that I had. And I'm going to be a homer for the wife. I think the Niners are going to win the division. I really feel bad for Trey Lance. I do. And for the record, I'd take Trey Lance over Justin Fields. I think I've said this on the show.
You did.
I feel like his ability to process would be better. Even though Justin Fields beat him head-to-head, I'd still take Trey Lance. But Jimmy G, he didn't play very well on Sunday night.
I mean, he wasn't expecting to play at all this year. So it's
and that's mile high. Nobody really plays well there.
no,
You don't
not
really
at all.
you don't really go into that place and win.
You survive.
You get out of there and you cool. So they have the Rams on Monday night, and that's already the game. You know, the Rams are 2-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew it was going to come down to them because D-Hop being gone, I just don't think, Kyler hasn't.
There's not enough else there.
Yeah, they haven't shown that they can hold the fort until Game 6. Now, if they can get to 500, they get D-Hop back. Well, I will reopen this conversation. It depends on their record, but I think it's going to be the Niners' defense they're really good.
Well, I'm gonna slide in on this one, and
Yeah,
I'll say this. I think in the NFC West, I think AJ Green is enough to get them to 500 while Hop comes back. I think the West is probably gonna get 3 in. It's I'm up on the 49ers because I'm despite the Trey Lance thing, like I'm a porn star Jimmy fan. Like it's like I'm with him. Like I like Jimmy G. I do. I don't know. I don't know why. Like he's gotten to a Super Bowl and all that good stuff, but like I'm a Jimmy fan.
Well, yeah, we all about PSJG in here as well too. I mean,
Right.
the wife was very sad that Trey went down, but she, even though she was not very happy with all that game, she's very excited about the way the team looked when Jimmy had the ball at home.
Right.
So they're going to be at home.
I like Jimmy. Like so, and then like you can't count. There's the Super Bowl high is a real thing. Like I mean, it's a real thing. When you win a Super Bowl at home, the way they did it with the team they did it with, it's a real thing. Like you can't count them out. Like they have exactly outside of OBJ, which I still don't know why he's not with anybody right now. But
because he's technically a free agent.
Somebody's got to pull that trigger. Green Bay, maybe. Like
they're going to see
the receiver.
Yeah, once trust me, if you don't think there's about 7 teams that don't have eyes or are talking to him like, hey, where's your knee at? What do you need?
And here's the sad part about it. I know we weren't going to talk about it, but don't look past the Bucks, all right? Because Tom Brady will take the league minimum to get another Super Bowl ring without Belichick. So anyway, back to the West. I think you slide 3 teams in. I think that toddler playing quarterback in Arizona is going to do just enough backyard football to get them 9 or 10 wins. Why
are you doing like that?
That's the one thing that everybody got right. He looks like a toddler running with the cell phone.
You talk about that GIF or that?
Yeah, he looks like a toddler with the cell phone. Like he does, and he does it. That's what he does. Like everybody went to school with a cat who played quarterback who, like he had that get up and go. Like he may not have the best arm in the world, but once he got out the pocket, once he could see everything, it's a wrap. So that's who he is, and like he's going to make a long career of that, and he's going to do it well. So I think the NFC West gets 3 teams in. Me personally, I think LA walks away with that division.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a tight race, and I just think the Niners. I think that they're still, all right. Jimmy came in relief. Usually when you have a good backup, he can come in and win a game.
Right.
That's the first game George Kittle's played. The Broncos, to their credit, are still a good defense. So
Broncos country.
I give him credit, man. And I think Russ, really honestly, I think him and Hackett have got to hack it out. And I pun intended.
Yeah.
They got to hack it out. And it's like, dude, like I get maybe that Aaron had so much control and you're like, but dude, like I'll work with you. But let's call some things.
Yeah. Let's just do it.
Like, look at what I did with DK and Tyler. Like, I got them guys paid. Let me get Sutton and let me get Jerry Jeudy and these guys paid. Jerry Jeudy is, man, dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Either that or somebody's gonna trade for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy. Because he's shown the flashes to me. Like, he just needs to get somewhere where he can get the ball. But good. And let's finish where we need to finish. And I love that you think 3 are going to get in from the West. I'll lead the NFC East. I think 3 are getting in from the East. I think the Giants are good enough to be the 7th seed.
I don't disagree with that.
I think they're just good enough. All right. I'm going to work this from the bottom up. Like, I think they're all going to just beat each other at some point. Washington's a good
of
team
course.
too.
Of course. Yeah, they're going to beat the crap out of each other.
Like, if I had to pick the odd man out, there's something about Brian. I'll take Brian Daboll, even though I think Washington obviously has a great coach in Ron Rivera. Carson Wentz, he's just too up and down. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. So you know what
you know what you're getting. I agree.
Saquon Barkley's back. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love everybody that was shitting on Saquon, which is basically the majority of my friends that I talk football with. Not minus a few. And I know better. I'm like, you guys are stupid. Well, Saquon sucks. I'm like, oh, he does? Because he blew his knee out and had some tough injuries. It's like, yeah.
He blew his knee out carrying the entire team.
The entire Chicago Bears on his back the year the Bears actually made the playoffs. It's like, yeah, sorry, Saquon. Take 2 years of your career. And I just like the way he is. You got guys like a Kenny Galladay that are in there having press conferences, and no disrespect to Kenny Galladay, if he ever hears this, I get they paid you a lot of money. But you having press conferences in there like you putting up Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill numbers. If this dude told you the best players are going to play every week, and you ain't had the best practice all week, good for Richie James out here trying to get another contract for himself. Good for David Sills trying to make his name. And these are guys that, Richie James is out here for a few years, and that's what got him to the Giants. And good for David Sills, who basically rode Will Greer's, coattails to the league. Like, good for these guys. I'm like, dude, this dude actually means it. Like, if I have a really good practice week, I'm going to play. And I played for a guy that was the exact same way. At the apex of my career, the best players going to play. The best players will play. And that's why I practice my ass off hard every practice. And I got a guy looking me in the camera and they're like, oh, yeah, that dude was at practice every day. Don't let them touchdowns fool you. That dude, the only time he missed a practice is when he had the swine flu.
I'm about to say you had a pandemic.
I missed the practice. I had the swine flu. I had a concussion 1 week. And then I sprained my ankle in the champion conference finals the second year and still played. That was the only time I ever missed practice. Outside of that, he was there every day, running hard, getting tetanus in the stadium before Sioux Falls. So I love that. So Kenny Galladay, I hate to see Sterling Shepard go down because he's one of the good dudes in the league. I know that from what I've heard. So Kenny Galladay, here's your chance. Go be the $18 million receiver. Like, you're literally the highest paid player on the offense. Go be that guy. So I like the Giants. Now, the Cowboys. This is a beautiful thing they have happening. And I'm going to tell you why, Chris. When your big-time player is dinged up the way that he is and the type of injury that he has, and you're still winning games, I told Hibby this morning. This is basically, and trust me, they're not as good defensively as that Denver Broncos team was that won the Super Bowl with Peyton. But remember that year Peyton was hurting. His neck was hurting.
Yeah, dealing with the whole surgical repaired neck.
Yeah, it just got jammed on him. And then they went with Brock Osweiler, and Brock Osweiler ran off like 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And then he lost 2 in a row, and they said, all right, it's time.
Which then again, it got Brock paid too, so I can't even be mad at that.
That's where they're at right now. Like, this dude has not lost a game starting yet.
No.
And if you can ride him another week, and honestly, I like Mike McCarthy. Yeah, Dak, when he's ready, should play. I agree. However, they look like a different football team than I've seen week 1. I can tell you that right now.
So that leads me to say this. When Dak comes back, I think they take a step back.
Well, if you do it the right way, they don't take a step back. Cooper Rush takes a step back.
I can see that.
Listen, I listen. Wally Pipp was a hell of a first baseman too, and then Lou Gehrig showed up when he got hurt. And that was a wrap. So they got enough.
They do. They do.
They got enough to get to the playoffs for sure in that division and in the NFC, because the NFC is a disaster. Outside of that, but this division is the toughest division.
Yeah.
And we went from thinking like, okay, Philadelphia is going to beat everybody, and we're going to get to them here in about 30 seconds. And then it'll be the NFC West, and you might sprinkle in Green Bay. But now you're like, dude, I don't know. If the Bears are 2-1 and the Vikings are what, 1-2, 2-1, and the Packers
2-1.
So you got three 2-1. Like, trust me, the Bears are going to fall off that. And I'm wearing a Bears shirt. I just know better. Our fate is on the shoulders and the head of a guy that's still not there yet. He's just not there. I don't know if he'll ever be there. So it brings me to the other team that I've been extremely bullish on because of what they did in the offseason. And you just knew what that kid is made of that's taking those snaps.
Yeah.
You know what he's made of. And he has not disappointed. Not one bit. And that team is playing their ass off for him.
That's their quarterback. He's their quarterback.
Everything they're about. The coach is in a groove. Like, everybody forgets they played the playoffs last year. They made the playoffs without the phenomenal draft they had and the phenomenal trade they made, to get A.J. Brown. And now here they are with all these pieces, and everybody's eating and everybody's having. Miles Sanders is running the ball. A.J. Brown's getting his yards and his Dallas Goedert's
Devontae's still getting his, yeah.
Devontae had the quiet first game, but now he's in the mix. Like, it's like Devontae's like, dude, you're my guy. Like, you're not, we came in together. So I know you're not shitting on me like you trying to win the game. And Devontae is such a humble dude. It's like, dude, I played with for them. I wasn't the guy for 2 years. I get it. I am the guy that won us the championship. Correct. But then even after that, I had to go back to taking a back seat to Jerry. He's like, this ain't
other first round draft picks. Yeah.
This ain't new territory for me. I know AJ's a problem.
I'll eat when it's time for me to eat.
Yeah, just when the ball comes my way, you got me. You got one of the best slot receivers in the league. And then defensively, Slay.
They're a problem.
James on the other side. There's safeties. Hassan Reddick is rushing. And we just keep forgetting they still got Fletcher Cox in the middle of that thing.
The ageless wonder.
Dude, he might be the most underrated D-tackle in the history of D-tackle.
Agreed.
And you can speak from that side.
Agreed.
Their front seven. I'm going to let you take over and finish us out because everybody knows how I feel about the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win the NFC. I'm going to let you finish it off so we get to give me a minute.
So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm not as up on the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys, I hate to quote another person, but like they're an accident waiting to happen. It's probably when Dak comes back, like they'll drop like 2 or 3 in a row, and then the whole question is like, well, did he get paid too much? Did he come back too soon? Is Dak the problem? And everything else. So like they're just, I don't know what Jerry Jones did or who he sold his soul to or who he got some bad debts with, but like it just does not work out for the Cowboys at all. The Giants, you know who the Giants are. Like the Giants can sneak up and beat you any day of the week. Go ahead.
Sold his soul to Jimmy Johnson when he told him he didn't need him anymore. Okay.
Yeah, that was probably it.
Miami.
Probably it. That'll do it.
That's what he did. Because they probably would have won 5 in a row.
Yeah, I'm not even going. That's pretty accurate. So
okay, go back.
In that division, you know what you got. The fact that Philly's offense gets talked about way more than the defense. It's not a shame. That's just a testament to how good that offense is because that defense is top 5, and they're not 5. That's just to kind of give you where they are. Like that's a top 5 defense, and they're not 5 at all. They're a problem because with you got Sweat, you got Cox, you got guys, and I don't want to overuse this expression, this term, but you got guys that can go on every layer. Like you got somebody who, if they went to another team, like that's your guy on any other team. And on the Eagles defense, like you're a chess piece.
Dude,
and I love it.
There are 3 corners. You talking about big play Slay.
Yep.
Who's a monster. James Bradbury is on the other side. And the reason he's in Philadelphia is because the Giants didn't want to pay him. Not because he couldn't play, but it's like, dude, we gotta, we might, if Daniel Jones shows us, we might have to pay him, or we might have to sign us a big quarterback. Saquon's due. Like they got guys they got to pay. So they were like, James, we're just not gonna pay you, and we'll play young guys. And then Avonte Maddox is as good as you get, the third corner.
Well, let me speak to it on this, and then we'll go to Give Me a Minute. As a defensive lineman, do you know the false sense of pride you get when you know for a fact you got 3 corners that can just go man?
Oh, it's joy. Yes, I do.
Just as a defensive lineman, like it's not zone, so I ain't gotta do this type of rush, and I ain't gotta make sure I have this. Like these dudes, like, nah, we good. Y'all go do what y'all do.
Yeah, they like playing 2-man out there probably 75% of the time.
That's it. Like and man free all game.
Yeah, they're probably doing that majority of the game. An occasional zone here and there to fuck you up.
And for like a D lineman, it's just like, hey, nah, y'all go. Don't worry about contained and not like if he throw it, oh, we got it. So y'all go. That's liberating as a defensive lineman, like just to know that, oh, I ain't got to worry about him being in this zone and this third and everything. I can just go. That's liberating. So the Eagles, until proven differently, and they're not going to go undefeated, but they're the team to beat in the league.
Yeah, it's going through Philadelphia and NFC. I don't care what anybody says. It's going through Philly. And I'm going to tell everybody, that has forgotten what it was like when Andy Reid was basically winning the East every year.
Yeah.
He went to a Super Bowl then. And I think everybody are starting to remember how good Doug Peterson's years were with what he's doing in Jacksonville, who is really already the coach of the year. It's been 3 weeks and Doug Peterson's already won coach of the year. He might as well win comeback player of the year too.
I don't disagree.
It's going through Philadelphia. And we're not even to Give Me a Minute. I was letting you listen. The Raiders remain to be seen. We have some we have some archive footage that we will play when the time is right. So I can be shitted on. But I promise you in that footage, super bullish on these Eagles. So I think that's pretty good, man. I think we did that.
I'm good to go if you're ready.
Yeah, man. Who starts? Give me a minute. You or me?
You know what? I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, I like it because this is what I've been wanting to say. I'm gonna save just enough of a sip for you for yours. All right. So America,
I appreciate it.
As I take a sip of the delicious Kirkland vodka.
Shout out to Kirkland.
Give me a minute. Well, here we are, America. A week 3 NFL podcast. We are in the greatest segment in the world, what is known as Give Me a Minute. And here I am, James Madison Walton III, a wide receiver, true and true, here to again tell you that you guys, as football fans, especially if you're fans of the NFL, welcome to the era of the wide receiver. And when you rewatch the video of this on our YouTube channel, thanks for subscribing and adding more subscribers. Trust me, it helps make you famous. When you see Chris Turner roll his eyes, It's because he knows I'm right, and he has to deal with it. And I've done a good job on this show when I've explained to you why we're in the era of wide receiver. When we have basically on this show predicted the last two Super Bowl champions. And Chris Turner eloquently described what's going on for his favorite team when he said, you know, Wames, the more I think about it, you're right. And I'm seeing it with my own eyes every Sunday. What it means to have two guys that can win. If you go and look at football, even as recent as the last Patriots Super Bowl, which was not that long ago, who was the guy that was taking two guys from the receiving position? Wasn't Edelman. Gronkowski was beat to shit. So they had no one. Go look at the Joe Flacco years. Are you committing a double team to Anquan Bolden at the end of his career? What about the Tom Brady team that beat the Legion of Boom in Arizona? Edelman? Danny Amendola?
God, no.
Great NFL players.
Agreed.
But are those the guys you're like, dude, we need to double team Edelman and Amendola?
And Danny Woodhead.
You know, when the Eagles won their Super Bowl, maybe Alshon a little bit, but were you double teaming Torrey Smith at the end of his career on the other side?
No.
Torrey, all I do is run a go and a post Smith? Nah, not doing that. God, what I wouldn't give to 4-3 and had been timed. What a career you could have had just running 4-3 and goes in the NFL with average hands. So the point I'm making to you is this. All you need to do is look at every team that's basically being picked to win the Super Bowl this year. Go look at them. Who do the Eagles have? They got three guys that could murder you on any given day. Go look at Tampa Bay when they're all healthy. Julio Jones is the third best wide receiver on that team. Let that sink in. And they just signed Cole Beasley. Think about that. At the end of the day, he thinks the Rams can win. That's because they do have Allen Robinson, who has shown in the past he can beat man coverage. And don't forget, they might make Cam Akers put that 23 on and put that 3 back on Odell Beckham. Go look at Cincinnati, who at the end of the day has not been very good, but they still got 3 guys that can win. Go look at Buffalo. We know what Stephon Diggs is. Stephon Diggs is basically saying, I'm going to be the offensive player of the year. I love Josh Allen, but I'm the guy. And then he's got a guy named Gabe Davis down there. And then quiet as kept, Jamison Crowder has been one of the best slot wide receivers of football in the last 7 years. Throw in Isaiah McKenzie, who's trying to get a contract. I can keep doing this for every team. America, you're in the era of the wide receiver. There's a reason so many of them got paid with 3-year and 4-year deals for guaranteed money of $50, $60 million. Accept it. You might want to call it the diva era, whatever you think of us. It's all well and good, but if you ain't got one of us, good motherfucking luck. Spend my minute.
I can do nothing but applaud it. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way to right field, if you don't mind, sir. Thanks for the sip. America, give me a minute. I've had some time here over the last, a little bit of time. Like, it's been random, like either like late at night or early in the morning when me and Zoe getting ready for school and work to watch Netflix. And I've realized that like white people are crazy as shit. Like I didn't I didn't know at first. Like, it's one of the things like you say when you're a kid, like, oh, them folks crazy. White folks crazy, like legitimately certifiable. Listen, I love Netflix. I love Hulu. I love the Iron Mike show, even though Mike don't get no money from it. It's a good documentary. But Dahmer on Netflix right now, like, dude, this I'm not even gonna tell it. I'm just gonna name this stuff. But like, you need to watch Dahmer. The Sins of Our Mother. This white woman went nuts and called her kids demons, and it got wild. The Bling Ring, where, mind you, if you substitute any of these main characters for black people, these folks still in jail right now, if not buried up under it. Dude, I don't I don't know why white people have lost or have lost their mind in the recent past and right now, but it's fucking ridiculous. Like, you're white, it's all right. Like, it's like, I don't get it. Like, Jeffrey Dahmer was legitimately eating people in his crappy apartment in Milwaukee. The Bling Ring was about some white privileged kids who decided, guess what? We're not rich enough. So let's go steal from richer white people. And then the Sins of Our Mother, which just makes the LDS church, which we stay off of politics and religion, but the more I'm hearing about the LDS church, that don't really make sense as a religion to me. So there's that. Maybe somebody can explain to me. I got a friend, she's from Utah in that area. She's explained a couple things to me about it because we went to college together, but that's why her family doesn't practice it anymore. That shit's crazy. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm all for unity, world peace, student loan forgiveness, all that stuff. And the fact that I have a racially ambiguous child, it further makes me realize that, like, we all need to come together and everything from that. But at the end of the day, white people are fucking crazy. America, that's been my minute.
Hey, wait, watch this. Hey, Bailey. Hey, real quick. Can I ask you a legit question? Yes or no? You gotta give me yes or no. Are white people crazy? She said yes.
There you go. There you go.
She has not. She's had her headphones in the whole show, America. That's the first thing she's heard is Chris Turner saying, "Hey, his whole giving me was about white people being crazy." And Callis is like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Hey, shit, that is the question today. Are white people crazy?" And she answers yes.
So big shout out to everybody who follows us on YouTube, Spotify Live, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Facebook.
Wait a minute. Anchor, get it together. We're on Spotify Live now. Now we got to do everything live. We got to get it all right in one take.
I mean, technically, what we did, we just cut out the middleman because all we were doing was going from Anchor to Spotify anyway. So you just cut the plug out. Like, it's
how do
like it's like you see what happened. You see what happened in Blow when they cut Boston George out and they went straight to Pee Wee Herman. So
telling you.
So with all that being said, make sure you follow us on all the socials. Make sure you hit us up, inboxes, all the good stuff.
Our sponsors, shout them out.
Big shout out to 9 Round Fitness, Rebel Coffee. Man, shout out to the Bighorn Mountain Cup that we took home silver in. I want to give him a big shout out. Big shout out to Chic Workwear. Hey, listen, it's 2022 and I understand times are hard. And you're looking for that great job. You know what's going to get you that great job? Great workwear. Chic Workwear.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I try.
Unofficial sponsor. Shout out to Kirkland. I'm coming for you. Shout out to Root Out Whiskey. Oh, those likes have not gone for vain. Somebody just got a raise. So your bottle may show up in Montana and in the Bay Area here on this podcast very soon. And we might have a pure Root Out Whiskey podcast. So Be prepared, Root Out Whiskey. Your time is coming. You will be hashtagged in a lot of things.
So with all that being said, big shouts out to everybody. Make sure you follow us, like, and subscribe. Share it as much as possible. And then when you share it again so that somebody else can share it and make sure they share it. So with all that being said, we appreciate y'all.
Wait. Hey. I want to shout out, I don't know who's listening. Arthur Smith. I'm shouting out Arthur Smith. I just looked down. We got somebody listening. Shout out Arthur Smith.
Hey, Arthur Smith, I see you, big dog. We appreciate you. If you want to say something, you could have popped in.
Yeah.
Shout out Vince says, I thought the Rams would win, but the Rams line is so shout out to everybody who's tuned in live.
America, listen, this is it. So you're gonna start seeing us. We're gonna commit more. Like now to the fact that thanks to Arthur and Vince, now that we know that they saw NFL Week 3, they saw what's good. We're gonna make sure we're posting a link to you guys.
Arthur, Vince, make sure y'all like and subscribe and follow us, man. And next time, if y'all want to hop in and say something, man, just hit that button and we got you.
Yeah, we'll go ahead through it. Well, actually, I didn't look at my phone. I just thought it was with me and Chris, and we'll replay this. But I can tell you right now, all our fans that do come back and watch YouTube, we'll set the time. Chris will set the time to it the whole night. We'll have that link ready to roll. Like we didn't figure out how to do this now, so we can have our simulcast. So like we're here, and appreciate both you guys, man. Like for real.
So with all that being said, appreciate you guys for joining in with us tonight. But the same question we asked you tonight, Walt, is the same question these two gentlemen got to learn. And what is that, Walt?
What's good, America?
What's good, America?